Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. Christmas is coming up. How would you like to set up a new audio video system for someone in your life? High-end equipment, custom designed for your space, all at the best prices in town. Call VFL JJ Surlis and the folks at Safety System. Check them out at safetysystems.com. And over at the Safety Systems scoreboard is one Chuck Cavaleris. And I wondered if we would have a perfect score today. We did not. We did not get to 200. As a matter of fact, a lesser score this week than last week against Missouri, 188 to 194. Both great scores, but it appears you and Jimmy were the Grinches. Explain.
Well, and I'll go to Jimmy, but real quick, I just thought, well, for Jalen Reeves-Maybin, for instance, I thought this was the first game where you didn't know for sure he was on the field every single play. I also thought Tennessee missed some tackles. Also thought the secondary gave up some plays. Jimmy, you also had some threes there. Give us your thoughts on that.
My thinking was Vanderbilt had the worst scoring offense in the country, and yet in the first half they got 14 points. They had 276 first half yards against Tennessee, and Vanderbilt had 148 in the whole game against Texas A&M. And Ralph Webb had 115 rushing yards in the first half. He ended up with 149. I didn't think Tennessee played well on defense in the first half. Now, in the third quarter, they were terrific on defense. And then the fourth quarter didn't matter. But I just thought the first half, I didn't think Tennessee's defense played very well.
I've still got a question. I'll let it go back to Chuck here. But a few weeks ago, I asked if it's in this team's DNA to lose focus. They go out there and look great those first two series on defense. Just smothered them. Yeah. Then they get a 10-0 lead. Defense looked like it, and it wasn't Jancic didn't say, okay, pull off the, let's get our foot off the gas. It wasn't that. I think this team just has a real habit of saying, we got the lead.
Well, I would like to say something in our defense, in the defense of our defense. If you just saw those passes that quarterback threw, them touchdowns, those long games, those were Tom Brady-esque.
He did have a couple of nice
those
ones.
passes were perfect, and it was hard to defend. And they were in position. They weren't hard to defend. You can't defend a perfect pass.
He dropped one in there that was
beautiful throw. Yeah, he did make some good
It was
throws.
good coverage,
Clean.
but still, you give up that many yards.
He was averaging 73.5 yards passing a game, and he threw for over 200.
Yeah, part of that's that in-state rivalry thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I agree. All right.
Bobby, we've talked about the passing game, but boy, the emergence of Von Pearson as your basically, to me, the go-to wide receiver now, beautifully designed touchdown pass to him. Talk a little bit about the passing game and Von Pearson.
Every quarterback looks, and tries to have a receiver that, you have confidence in. When I played, I knew if I got the ball close to Joe Thompson, he was going to catch it. So you look for those type receivers, and Von Pearson is certainly one of them.
And Daniel, you gave the defense all fives, and you played defense. Just give us a little bit of your perspective about why they earned those grades.
I based it really just solely on the third quarter. You held a Vandy team to 6 yards, I think it was, in the entire third quarter. You get a safety, which was the first time I think since 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought just played really good in the third. Now, yeah, we had a bunch of issues there in the first half, and I think a lot of it went straight back to the defensive line and Vandy's offensive line, just double teaming them. It seemed 10, 15 yards down the field, but they came out at halftime, made corrections, and went out and did their job, extended the lead, and won the game big.
And Pearl, one thing I wanted to ask you, a lot of people may not know, but you played special teams in Canada.
Oh, baby!
The view you had from field level, special teams again, now you've had 6 returns for scores, 3 each, kickoff and punts. Talk about how you saw that. I know a lot of Tennessee fans were holding their breaths on the punt return, thinking the penalty might have been against the Vols. Talk about the special teams.
It's incredible. And I can tell you, Mr. Berry and Cam and Kamara, they've had the pleasure of going behind blocks by Mr. Jakob Johnson, who started linebacker last year, an incredible athlete from Germany that's playing on our football team. He's out there going balls to the wall on special teams, baby. He's putting people on their back, what special teams are made of, and those guys taking advantage of that. Also, I thought yesterday, Medley's second field goal broke the back of Vanderbilt. That was incredible. Special teams gets a 5+ from Stir to Pearl, for real.
When you look at that special teams unit, you look at some missed field goals early on from Aaron Medley. Aside from that, and he's gotten better as the year went on, but aside from that, this might be the best overall return game, coverage game that I've ever seen from a Tennessee special teams unit. I know at some point, you go back to the Willie Gault days, But this is the best that you've seen in a decade at least.
I agree with you. Medley has made 11 of his last 12 field goals, so he's really turned it around. And Sutton is averaging about 18 on punt returns, but I think Kamar is about as good. And then Evan Berry's the national leader in kickoff returns. The coverage units have been very good. Trevor Daniels had a terrific year. I think the special teams at Tennessee have just been outstanding.
Got to catch a break here, but I did want to say Josh Dobbs yesterday set the record for most rush yards by a quarterback in a season, broke Jimmy Streeter's record, and Cam Sutton, most punt return yards in a season, broke Bobby Major's record. So congratulations to both of those guys. When we come back, we're going to answer your tweeted questions, your Twitter questions, whatever you call them. We're answering them. Come on back.